Hey YouTubers, we're on tutorial number 3 and we're going to bust a myth. The myth that's busted is busted. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to double bust a myth that's on USA Jobs. So stay with me because I'm Lisa, and while I work for the federal government, I am not here as a representative of the federal government. I'm here to represent you. I not only want you to be referred, I don't only want you to be in an interview, I want you to be hired because I want to see more people like you. Ooh, let's talk about that myth. It's going to get a little juicy. Well, if you go on the USA Jobs website, they have a section and I'll show it to you. They have a section that says myths, and their intent is to dispel myths that people often say about USA Jobs and working for the federal government. So I looked at the myths, and the myth says that it's the challenge that they scan resumes. So they want to dispel the myth that they scan resumes. Well, they try. I mean, you got to give them something for trying. And what they're saying is that it's in part true because some agencies don't scan, and then other agencies do scan. And when they scan, and then they have people. Well, you'll see it. I'll show it to you. So we're going to dispel this myth if you haven't already. It's this simple. I applied for a job for the federal government, and 3,200 something people applied for that job because it's the internet. People, as I've said in my tutorial number 2, which you definitely should watch, I said that people from all over the world can apply. And I'm sure that people from all over the world, or some could be hacks and don't even really want to apply. But nonetheless, 3,200 something people applied for my position. And there were 20 positions at the time, open positions. Now, do you really think that of those 3,000 applications that they received, that an individual looked at them? Think about it. 3,000 applications, and someone physically with their own eyes looked at it. While they're saying on one hand that some organizations do use it, they're saying on another hand, other organizations don't. But they don't quite tell you how the organization manages some 3,000 applicants for one job, and let's say they have 10 jobs. So it's not realistic. So with that being said, we're just going to brush that off and move forward, as I always have for years. I've always said that everything that you put in matters. And I say very much that in tutorial number 1 and tutorial number 2, which you definitely got to see. But in this tutorial, we're going to go even further and talk about how you get that information in, the data that is in fact screened by this entity and this entity. So what I'm going to be giving you is how to better understand the information that you need to put in. And when you stay with me through my tutorials, I'm going to show you the smartest and easiest way to get all the data that you need to put into your job. And no, it is not by copying the job description, which they specifically say don't do that. And I'm telling you, don't do that as well. Let's get our boots on and get into the lesson. Now let's spend some time right here because this is what matters. The federal government is actually, through the USA Jobs site, obtaining a quantitative report. And that's when we talked about the count, LISA. It's relative to knowledge, skills, and abilities, KSAs. If you've applied for a job on USA Jobs, you know they talk about KSAs. You know, if you're a military member, you're talking about keywords. So keywords or KSAs, one and the same. And the K is for knowledge. The S is for skills. And the A is for abilities. And let me provide you with those, break it down some even further. Let's roll up our sleeves and talk about the first word. K, knowledge. Truths or facts accumulated in the course of time. Let's move on to S, skills. Crafts, trades, or jobs requiring special training in which a person has competence and experience. And A, abilities, power or capacity to do an act. This is not your grandfather's or your parents' resume of the past. That 2-page resume or 1-page resume is out the door, because knowledge, skills, and abilities can be acquired from a multitude of experiences that you have in the workplace, in volunteering, and while you're in school. So you see that funnel, knowledge, skills, and abilities, and all of those things that channel down through it, and your name down at the bottom. What I want you to be able to understand is that all of that information from yourself and the thousands of people from all over the world applying for that one position come into the system as data, digits. The objective is for you to fill that funnel up with as much as possible in order for it to trickle down into the final grains. You imagine that, if they want to be one of those grains that make it through. And the only way you're going to be able to make it through is if you fill it with all the information. But what if you wasn't the individual that checked that you're able to speak English? In my example of applying for a VA job, that digit would not be there because you didn't click the box. That box checking it initiated a digit that says, yes, this person has the ability to speak English. And English fell into the funnel, let's say. If you didn't check it, it wouldn't be there. So the grains of sand, the data, for this analogy, would not be able to funnel down through so that your name could make it through because you didn't check it. We have obviously busted the myth that you can't manage thousands of applications by hand. Now let's let them put their own nail in the coffin. With their own words, they tell you that they don't expect your resume to be 2 pages, but yet they give you the option to upload your resume. But we're going to be smarter than that, and I'm going to show you how to get your extensive resume the smart way. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end. I am absolutely certain, since you're here, you want to be, and you're going to want to come back. So please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss the next tutorial. I'm going to be putting tutorials and a wealth of other information out on a weekly basis. Please like and let me know what you're looking for, because I quite might possibly put it out just for you. I hope that you achieve the success that I not only have, but I desire for you.